Oh my gosh. Today's guest, everyone here is in for a treat. I've never met you, Alex, and I'm so happy you're here. Welcome to the podcast.
It is so weird when you're like, well, we've had lots of conversations on Instagram, and
Yeah,
then even just showing up like this, like we've never had a conversation like this.
I
And then you
know.
get those conversations where you meet people in real life for the first time and you
Mm.
hug and you're like, do we know each other? What? Oh, it's just through DMs. Anyways, that's how I'm feeling coming in here,
The
Lisa, and I'm
magic of the
excited to be
internet.
here. Yep, exactly.
Well, I love it. I don't even know how I came across you. I've been following you for a while. I've participated in some of your workshops and live calls. And there's something when you just kind of sit in the resonance of someone. And I just reached out to you. Is this your first fertility podcast?
Yes, I could confidently say that. Yeah, this is,
for, for for many people it is, and what
yeah,
you bring with you're like the storytelling guy, the story guy.
great. Yeah,
I feel that this topic is one so relevant to my community, the idea of story and owning our story,
yeah.
the power of mm, this is what I do here on this podcast is share
hmm
stories, elevate others'
hmm
voices. And I know you probably never saw yourself going down the path of the work you're doing now, um, being the storytelling expert, because I've read a bit of your history and you were a
hmm
youth pastor for like 15 years.
Yep.
And I think an actor as well.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Um,
Yep. That's
and I
that's the
just want
first
to
love
like,
there. Yeah.
yeah, like starting us off with what? I mean, how are those related? Going from
Yeah.
acting, past youth pastor, to now helping others craft their signature story, their
Yeah.
one clear story, which you have a
Yeah.
podcast as well. And I'm so excited you're here to have this chat. We're just going to go heart to heart right now.
Yeah. I love it. And that's the thing where, it's interesting. We can get in, I'll tell you the journey in a minute, but there's
Yeah.
this, I love that question. Is this your first fertility podcast? Like, yeah, it is. But you know, it doesn't really matter what podcast it is because we're always showing up and sharing our story. So whether it could be one about money or, building a business or owning a house, and whatever guests are showing up on those podcasts, if they're this sort of style, then they are showing up and saying, well, here's my experience with this, and here's my experience, here's my story, lived through this, here's how I've gone through this. And so I get this incredible privilege now. It's what it is. It's a gift in my life that I get to jump in and sort of be a part of all these different industries, let's say, but really just life experiences and help people do the same thing wherever they are, which is to feel more clear and confident about who you are and why you do what you do, how you've lived through what you've lived through, and ultimately how you've transformed. And that's your one clear story. And if you can do that, then I mean,
Mm.
I don't say it lightly. I think it's the meaning of life. I
Mm.
think us understanding our own journey is to our best ability is what we're here to do, and then pass that on as much as possible to help others survive as well. So
That's so beautiful.
that's the energy I'm coming in with anyways.
Yes. Well, this is it, the energy and shared conversations.
Yeah.
So coming back to pastor to this,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right.
I'd love to hear just a little tidbit of this to give us some
Sure. Great.
context.
I mean, it like I grew up, my mom was an actress and I followed in her footsteps. She kind of forced it upon me and I absolutely loved it and followed her
Oh,
into the theater to the stage. I fell in love with that, the magic of it. I would watch her make an audience of strangers laugh. And I'm like, what is this magic? Like, that's my
mm,
mommy, Like
yeah.
she cuts my carrot sticks, and now she's like making these strange, changing how they feel. I want to do that. So that was really clear
Mm,
to me from the beginning, is that's the path. And then that became really hard, believe it or not. Like after high school, that's what I did. I moved to downtown Toronto and tried to get an agent and
mm,
win an Oscar. like I was dreaming to. How hard could
Yeah.
that be? And then there was like a left turn, and I got these
Mhm.
opportunities to, okay, volunteer and
Mhm.
work in my local church youth group and be a leader there. And then I was getting opportunities to speak, to craft and speak messages, about life and purpose and yes, God and spirituality and where these 12-year-olds fit in this great big journey. And I was
Mhm.
falling in love with that. So then it just
Yeah.
shifted, and I was like, oh, maybe I could do that. And as I
Mhm.
did that, found all these opportunities to speak and to practice and to play from the stage, everything that I was wanting to do before. But then also, I'm like diving into people's lives and helping them see something in themselves that they couldn't see. And
Mhm.
it just felt like it was obvious. And yet, like just about everybody I've met, it was this constant question of, is this the best way to use my gifts?
Mhm.
Maybe you felt that. Am I doing
Yeah.
what I'm supposed to be doing?
Yeah.
That confusion was always, always there. And there's a number of moments I could draw to that kind of helped bring it into clarity to specifically do what I do. Conversation with my mom, helping me, again, kind of reset how important storytelling is. Um,
Mm.
7 years ago, someone saying, "Hey, you just need to teach us how to speak like you do." And then I was like, oh, yep, that's it. Actually, that's been here all along for 38 years 35 years at that point. Yep, that's
Mm.
the thing. And then I started a business, and then here we are, and I get to talk to people all over the world to help do the thing that I've kind of always been doing, which is to help pull that story out and share it with the world. So it's really this journey of confusion to clarity for me all along the way. And that's exactly what I help people do here today.
So it was always really in you. You saw that this was a gift that you could, as you said, helping others, um, like check and see what they couldn't see. You saw that
Yeah.
in
See
others,
within them. I always saw it
see
was
within
like this,
themselves.
see something in them that they can't see. And that I think that's why we need each other,
Mm.
because you live in your head and you live in your body and you live in your experience and you translate it by your own lived experience and the tapes that we
Mhm.
have that play based on wherever we come from and all of that. And usually I find that people have I'm gonna say like a lowered sense of self, right? They
Mhm.
don't see how cool they are.
Mm.
That's it. They don't see just how special their skills and gifts and talents really are. Typically, and
Mm.
especially in this work, you don't see
Yeah.
how powerful, amazing, transformative your story already is. And so back then, it was kind of like, helping young people see the leadership skills that they have, see the effect that they have on other people, and how they can nurture that and expand on that. And
Mhm.
now, yeah, it's more of that and more of the do you, do you see like the transformation you've already lived through? How much
Mhm.
you've already grown, how many barriers you've already overcome to get
Yeah.
to the place you are now? What
Yeah.
a story to tell. So, yeah, that's the magic of it.
Yeah.
And so I think there's something to that within your podcast here, what you do. A lot of the conversations that you have is likely giving people an experience, an opportunity to do that, talk through
Mhm.
what they have or are experiencing
Mhm.
and have that reflected back, have that opportunity to see, oh, this isn't just for me,
Yeah.
but it is for someone listening right now who
Thank you for
needs
seeing
this.
that. I've heard you say that your story is your superpower.
Yeah.
And in the world that I'm supporting women going through fertility struggles and having lived it personally myself, I have done a lot of reflection, and my fertility struggles, in a way, really did become a superpower.
Yeah.
And this idea of, you said, pivoting and trying different things from acting didn't work out to the pastor path. And
Yeah.
I think these pivots can really be a gift and they do shape our experience and all the things that led up to my fertility struggles. And like, I mean, again, I've shared, I never expected to write a book and start a podcast, and all of those
Hmm.
struggles, they become our story, a superpower that we get to
Yeah.
share if we want to and own or not.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's those moments that you've lived through, right, Lisa? Like
Mm-hmm.
you look at that and you can say, yeah, I've lived through that experience. That was a moment that I carry. And that moment then we often refer to as that's a story, or that is my
Mm-hmm.
story. That moment, that experience, that going through infertility treatments and experience like what that was, that's a
Mm-hmm.
moment of my life, and I can talk
Yeah.
about that, and that is my story. And I try to be really careful with it's not about the moment that gives you that superpower. It isn't like I remember, yeah, when I was 28, everything happened. Like that's when my story begins, when I was 20. Like respectfully, it's not,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's a moment, not the moment. That's a moment that you lived through. But, and it might be one of the most dynamic and, I mean, heart-wrenching, powerful, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shifting experiences that opened up grief in a whole new way and
Mm-hmm.
relationships. But it's a moment. And it's where I often talk about people. So then the story is actually, it does go much bigger than that. It does
Yeah.
go all the way back and goes all the way to today. And that's where I really find such power in this and would love to encourage your audience, if it feels right, in that sense of what you have lived through and are living through is it's a moment within a
Yeah.
much larger transformation that you are experiencing. And the story is not the moment itself, but the story is the transformation that you experienced
Yeah.
through that moment.
It's like I always
That
say,
connect?
it's these are chapters of our lives. It's not the whole
Yeah.
book. And a lot
Yeah.
of individuals do make this like the all-consuming part of their life, which
Yeah.
it can take over our lives if we let it. But you're right,
Yeah.
it is a moment, and it's I've heard you talk about like um not sharing like a timeline or the details if we are going to choose our story to share our story, but it is the transformation, right?
Yeah. 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 So before that, that
Mm-hmm.
moment, I was feeling
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
this,
Mm-hmm.
or in the middle of that time, I
Mm-hmm.
was feeling a lot of loss, a lot of confusion, a lot of doubt, a lot of frustration. I was feeling, and if you narrow down on that and you're like, now since then, I've found community, I've found hope, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to find peace, and I'm starting to
Yes.
find love and belonging, purpose again. And so the story becomes about shifting from,
Yeah.
loss to purpose. And what you find is that it's not then that transformation that you so, get attached to becomes a lot bigger. And you're
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, actually, that was the same thing that I went through when my dad died.
Mm-hmm.
I felt this deep sense of loss and I thought, how am I ever going to get out of this? And then you start to
Mm-hmm.
go, oh, wait, there's purpose still.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, wait, that's the same thing that I kind of felt, leading up to, or like losing that job, or like you
Mm-hmm.
start to see that same transformation is actually again and again and again and again. Every chapter has that
Mm-hmm.
similar transformation, and the story that you're living through is the story that you've lived through. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
for those, in my community who we all have a personal story, and it takes so much courage and bravery to walk this path. There and really any challenge, but the IVF and infertility one is a really unique one. If you haven't lived it, it's just
Yeah.
so painful in so many different ways. And I'm curious, you know, if someone wants to step out and to share their truth and share their story, again, it's almost like you're saying tuning into the emotions of what you shifted, right? A
Yeah.
perspective shift from I was here and now I'm here. And, I think there's often a feeling of, I mean, I could tell you all of the pain that goes through it, the isolation and the loneliness and
Yeah.
the all consuming. And, I really strive to help women shift into a space of more of the magic, as you talk about too. We resonate in that a
Yeah.
lot, the peace and the joy that exists. These are things that are not often associated with a fertility path, but
Yeah.
that's my goal really, is helping individuals really step into a space of more openness, right? Where
Yeah.
you're welcoming and supports. And that's a big part of my story. Like when I said yes to life, life said yes back to me. And all these new
Hmm.
supports opened up, and a book club. And then, I met a Reiki practitioner and did art therapy. And then it was like meeting all the people I needed to meet on this path. So it's like
Yeah.
just this idea of we all have a story to tell, and I'm just curious what thoughts might be coming through as I'm sharing this. Cause I think,
Yeah.
we don't have to get lost in the struggle of the story. There is hope, there is light,
Yeah.
there is a positive way of going about this path, not toxic positivity, but like
Yeah. Yeah.
stepping into a new lens. So,
Well, I think that this is where it almost gets into like let's talk shop about storytelling a little bit, like that sort of because but in order to help with even that healing
mm-hmm,
and um, connection process, because when I'm when I focus on helping people
mm-hmm,
share their story, it's often yes, it's they will focus on the hardest moments in their life that they've had to overcome. And if you start, what's your story? Well, you start at the beginning. It it's going to feel like struggle. You're going to focus on the struggle because you're
mm-hmm,
focusing on that journey that it took, oh wow, all the way to get through that and all that depth of pain and
mm-hmm,
sorrow and loss, all of that comes up. And what's happening when you do that is you start to go deeper and deeper, deeper into that, and you
mm-hmm,
relive those emotions and that experience. And so it becomes very difficult to actually, in the moment, climb out of that and find where is this supposed to go.
mm-hmm,
And if you're feeling that, your audience is absolutely feeling that, where they're like, where are we going with this? And yes, they're going
mm-hmm,
to go with you. They want to listen, but they're wondering sometimes very clearly and sometimes just subconsciously, they're wondering where's where's this journey going?
yeah,
And so what I continually encourage my clients and audience to do is start with the now.
the now.
Start with the
Mm-hmm,
here, start with the now,
mm-hmm,
start with who you are. And it might not be that you show up and you're like, I feel great. Life is roses. It doesn't have to be that. But it can be, like you just said, is I'm showing up today and I feel more open to what's possible. I also feel more supported and connected.
mm-hmm.
But 10 years ago,
Yeah, exactly. Pretty
mm,
much.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, geez, there we go.
You're telling my
Right?
story, I guess. Yeah. 2015 is when I was confronted
Yeah,
with
there you go.
fertility struggles. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
And then you can go into it wasn't, it's essentially, then you go to, well, what wasn't it that if it wasn't open and supported then, like what was
Mm-hmm.
it? And that's when you can go into that and then you go into that alone and
Mm-hmm.
isolated, as you said. But again, you internally, mentally, you know that you've already staked a claim. You already said, we're going here.
Yeah.
Like we're going on a road trip from Toronto to LA. Okay, but we got to start in Toronto. So as long as it takes, you know that we are going to LA. So that's the good news, right? So if you started from the beginning, then you go back to where it is. You know, as the
Hmm.
driver of the story, that we're going somewhere. I have to end this at this support and open.
Yeah.
But then as the audience as well, we're thinking the same thing. It's like no matter how deep this goes,
Hmm.
we know what the destination is. And
Yep.
that is hopeful, it's helpful, and I think gives everybody kind of that sense of, okay, there's a transformation happening here.
This is your signature story arc,
That's
right?
it. Yeah, that's it.
What you're known for.
I
Um,
can't help it. I can't not do it.
no, it's
That's
so
it.
good. I mean, that's what I like. I've learned so much from you, and it really just takes simplifying things because you're
Yeah.
right. Our people, whoever we are sharing with, like people want to be led, and to see themselves in your story.
Yeah.
I heard one of your podcast episodes and you're talking about you're going through the Disney characters. I resonated that with that because I used to work at Disney World.
Yes. Excellent. So good.
Another story.
That's how you
But
find your people. You're like, I'm a Disney adult. Who's with me
yeah.
or who's not?
But yeah, it's like I forget how you said it, but um identifying like as the hero or the villain, and
Yeah.
you really like broke it down in such a unique way.
Well, it's
But
talking about what
yeah.
you want,
Yes.
right? Like
Yes.
that's what the great Disney, that's where Disney wins, and that's what, but you think about the great
Yeah.
Disney musicals, and that's what, you've got Belle running on the hillside saying she wants adventure in the Great White
Yes.
Somewhere. Like
Yeah.
Moana, see the line where the sky meets the
Or
sea, it calls me, right? It's like that.
yes.
And then so we as an audience go, oh yeah, that's what I want too. I
Mm-hmm.
know what she wants. She wants to be out of her provincial life, but I also want that kind of adventure.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're immediately rooting for them and finding ourselves in that and feel emotional and feel transformed by that as well. And so I think for as difficult as it is when you're in the moment or looking back at these experiences, there's an opportunity to say, but I still know like what I want is ultimately what this sense of peace,
Mm-hmm.
belonging.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to know. You think of all the things that you really want when you're going through this experience and the process. It's like this, do I want a kid? Yeah, I want a kid, but I also really want what? What is that? What's that
Yeah.
feeling that you're looking, what's that experience
A
that you're looking
peace,
for?
like no matter
Yeah,
what, I'll be okay with or without a
yeah,
child.
yeah. And I think that then that's the transferable thing, the totally
Mm-hmm.
relatable thing to someone else going through that experience or to truly most people who are also looking for, yeah, well, I'm going through something really hard as well. And does it compare? I don't know. But I know that feeling
Mm-hmm.
of wanting
Mm-hmm.
peace that no matter what happens right now, we're going to be okay. We're
Mm-hmm.
going to be
Mm-hmm.
changed, but
Yeah.
we'll find peace. So then that becomes the story. That's the transformation is going from this
Mm-hmm.
chaos to peace
Yeah.
throughout this experience.
You're
And
right. Mhm.
that's again, I think that's really the mission here
Yeah.
is how do you start to own that? Because then you'll start to see that everywhere and you'll start to look at yourself in the mirror every day and say, not how do I get over this, but oh, I've gone from confusion to clarity before. I'm going to do it again.
Something you just said about owning our story and what just hit me, it's like, do we want to own our story or is our story going to own us?
Come on. Write that down. Clip that.
Boom.
That's good stuff.
But I've heard you talk about that. Our story is for us first.
Yeah. Yeah, it's first for you for sure. It's because and a lot of us, whether you're thinking, okay, I mean, you go on a podcast to share a story, you're like, okay, well, this is for an audience. Sure. It is, right? I coach a lot of people to get up on stage and share their story into a message or to take their story, turn it into sort of a brand story. And so it's
Mhm.
often this like, I want to do this thing because I have an audience waiting to hear it. And so it becomes about what do they need to hear? What are they going to connect with? And for myself, I recognize that that was a lot of the confusion as an actor and then as a speaker was
Mhm.
was trying to please the audience. You know what I mean? Like trying to give them what I thought that they wanted to hear.
Mm. Mm.
But when I began to start to go, wait, but like, what do I want to say? Uh, things started to shift. I started to have this confidence that I just assume that like it's gonna connect with people. But I'm coming in here today hoping that what we do is helpful and helpful for all and transformative for some. But I'm
Yeah.
also coming in with this confidence that it will be because I'm
Yeah.
speaking from a story that I know. And so, yeah, your story is first for you to own that, to believe that, to see how far you've come, how amazing you already are, how powerful you are, how much you still have to learn and give and overcome and
Mm.
share with others. And we're just getting started.
Yeah.
And then you start to turn that towards an audience, and holy crap, I mean, nothing can stop it.
Mm.
That's that's the
Thank
good
you.
news.
Thank you for reminding us, really tapping back into our power. Because story, and I'm
Mm,
curious just your take on the word story itself, because stories can have a really positive connotation or they can have kind of a negative connotation where it's like we get lost in the story, right? In
yeah.
the the monkey brain, right? What do they call it? The
Yep.
stories
Yep.
play over in our mind and replay over and over. But like we get to be reminded that we can shift that. We have the power to
Yeah.
reclaim really how we're defining the story. No one else can do
Yeah.
that but us, really, right?
Well, it's like, and that's the thing. That's why I love going back and seeing like, okay, wait, I what's another moment that I've experienced that kind of transformation? Oh, you know what? I
Mm.
remember like 3 weeks ago, I was feeling really confused about where I was in life and what I'm doing. And is this making a difference and an impact? And oh man. And then I went and I had a appointment with my therapist and I sat in that on that couch for an hour and I talked about who knows what.
Mhm.
And a few days later, I was feeling this clarity that kind of felt like it came out of nowhere. Oh, yeah, there's another moment of going from confusion to clarity. And it's a really small moment. It was just a
Mm.
small conversation with my therapist. And I couldn't even tell you something she said was like, oh, there's something within you that needs to be heard. Interesting.
Mm.
This small one-on-one conversation, it's not big and flashy, it's nothing, but it was a moment of transforming, right?
Yeah.
A moment that I can look at and say, oh, I was this, but now I'm this on the other side of that. And so to think about this, owning that
Mm.
and taking your power in that is to say it's not a one-time thing. It's not a one-time transformation.
Yeah.
It happens again and 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 again. It's like episodes of a TV series. Every
Mhm.
episode, the series shifts. Like the series goes through they take the character through transformation. But then over a season, they go through a bigger transformation. Then over a
Right.
series, they go through this massive transformation. And so you said chapters, I said, moments. It's also episodes of your life, but every single one is this shift that you're experiencing. And the more that you build up, you get to go, I'm I'm doing a really good job overcoming these barriers. Look at me
Mm.
go. Wow. And so if I'm
Mhm.
feeling like I'm in it today, I get to instead of that running away with the narrative, with the story and saying, "Oh, you are such a loser. You are so alone. Nobody wants to be you failed again." No, I in this
Mhm.
other place, in this who I am now place, I get to say, "Okay, I know that. I know that feeling
Mm.
of isolation. I know it very well. but that's not who I am actually. I have a lot of
Mm,
support around me,
hmm.
and I'm going to find that again.
That's
And
so
then
good.
that becomes to be the story that starts to become that story is this is who I am. That's who I was.
I'm curious, like when you help people in getting clear on their story and journaling is something that I encourage my clients to do to get
Mm,
thoughts onto paper to
yeah.
it could be there's different prompts I give, but getting clear on what you want, right? Your
Yeah.
aim and your intention. Getting I see you smiling, people can see like your mind's already going. Like, I don't know
Love
what you're
it.
gonna say.
Yes.
But like also honoring the pain and the hurt and not dwelling in the story, but like honoring that
Yeah.
path. And I'm just curious, like the bridge between honoring the pain and the hurt. I mean, it is part of the transformation to get to what we want. A lot of us do want that peace, more joy on our path to motherhood, one of the most magical paths.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and often there's a lot of heartbreak. There's so
Yeah.
much waiting, there's disappointment and there's setbacks. And so not bypassing all of the pain and the hurt, but like, how do you find that kind of
Yeah.
balance and how you guide your clients with
Yeah.
maybe a journaling prompt or something like that? I'm just curious.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that's so wise what you just said, how you just labeled that of the not dwelling in the pain, but honoring it or in the
Mm-hmm.
past in that barrier. I call it the barrier, right? It's this thing that
Mm-hmm.
you've overcome. It's been there. It keeps showing up. Um,
Mm.
it's very familiar.
The bear.
Yeah,
I did hear you
yeah,
talk about that in a workshop. Didn't you talk about, I think you did talk about that, the bear, huh?
yeah, yeah. So it's but then so as far as journaling and
Yeah.
that goes, I mean, this was
Mm-hmm.
really for me the getting into like putting some structure to the work that I do now. Because I could talk about storytelling all day, all my life. I do. My brother's a
Mm-hmm.
screenwriter. My mom was an actress. My dad was a photographer. It's just storytelling all through in all these
Yeah.
different ways.
Yeah.
Um, but what really clicked me into doing this work
Mm-hmm.
was my own journaling experience and saying, okay, how did I get here? Like just this moment 11 years ago, sitting in a Starbucks for 2 hours, opened my laptop, and I just said, okay, what are the moments that like show up to me of when I have like created experiences for people? So I had this is who I am. This is what I love to do is create these
Mm.
experiences where people have some sort of shift. Okay, well, what other moments have I experienced this? And I went all the way back and just started typing, just
That's
writing.
awesome. Love it.
Remember that. I remember that. I remember that. Oh, that was great. Okay. And then you start to go, and I've had another therapist take me through this and start to go like, just straight up, was that a positive or a negative experience when you look back at that? And just, was that something that helped you or like gave you this purpose and joy,
Mm.
or was that
Mm-hmm.
a really dark, difficult time? And it's all of it. That it just looks like waves as you write, as you start to draw that and you go through that and you start to realize that those lower moments in the dip
Mm-hmm.
um, are, again, a moment. It's like they're just as much a part of the story as those mountaintop experiences that go up. And so as I look back at that, I started to honor the whole journey and say, oh, there's been moments when I've really loved this, and that brings clues. And all along the way, the best moments have been when I have been helping people find their story. The worst moments have been when I've
Mm.
been what, like probably doing a desk job or like doing something
Mm-hmm.
where I'm not around people and I'm not using my voice. I'm sweeping a floor in a hockey arena. Not a good moment for me, right? Like there's these
Oh.
moments. But then I look at the really darkest moments of my mom passing away 14 years ago, my dad a couple of years after that. I mean, I've
Mm.
had loss. My
Yeah.
stepdad a few years ago, and mother-in-law 2 years ago now. Like it's just there's this loss has followed me the
Mm-hmm.
last
Mm.
decade and a half. And in that pain, the journaling that I've done to go in and honor to say, this is painful. This is dark. This is grief. I now know what grief is.
Mm.
Uh, and yet, I also see how at my mom's funeral, I saw the greatest collection of humans having a joyful time talking about her. And it's like one of the most, uh, I don't know, like back and forth
Mm. Mhm.
moments in my
Mhm.
life where it was this
Mhm.
deep sorrow mixed with deep joy
Yeah.
and
Mm.
connection. And that I think is what the story ends up being. So your question was about a journal prompt, and the prompt I would say is, yeah, find the moments that got you here
Mm.
and recognize that they're all moments. What is a moment that helped you or that you've experienced
Mm.
that helped you shift?
Mm.
And you'll start to see all kinds of moments show up.
Thank you. That's really good. I hope listeners will try this exercise.
It's gonna be, I just, I'm excited. I love that question. And I just think obviously
Thank
that took me down
you.
a path because I just think what often happens is people come in locked in on this is the moment that is defining me. This is the moment that is my story.
Mm.
And part of my job is just to go, okay, if that's the middle of the circle, then it's like, all right,
Mhm.
but what's the outer ring
Yeah.
beyond that? What about a little bit further beyond that? What's another moment? What's another moment? And we keep going out and we just explore with curiosity and you start to see, oh, not to diminish the power of what you're experiencing now, but
Mhm.
to say, oh, actually, this isn't the first.
And there's clues along the way. Like, I want to thank you for one of your talks that I got to listen in on. I think it was a workshop or something that
Hmm.
you did. And um, it brought me to pull out my wand. Can you see this wand that I'm
Yeah.
holding? My mom gave me this in college, and I pulled this into a keynote that I gave
Oh, I love it.
talking about keeping the magic alive on our fertility path. And it was a prompt or something you gave, and I wrote that down as like wand. This wand has become part of my story. And
Wow.
magic. I created wishing cards for my clients, like around the new
Hmm.
moon and setting intentions. And these symbols, I mean, I didn't know that this wand that my mom gave me when I was in college and she passed not quite 8 years ago, but it's
Hmm.
like this loss. And she's a big part of my story. I write about her a lot in my book. And
Yeah.
just grateful to you. You're living in your purpose and helping pull out the gems and the magic like in others. And I get a little teary right now because it's just like, it's so special.
It's
Like,
good.
like
Yeah.
I did hold that on a stage and a simple object and what it represents and how much it's like helped in my transformation to like really keep the magic alive through my fertility path. Like, I mean, again, it's a choosing, and that's what I chose, and that's a big part of my story that by leading with magic, it unlocked so much in my life.
That's, yeah. That, and it is magic. Like, I mean, what
Yeah, yeah.
this, that's a lot of, I play with that word a lot,
I
but
know
I
you
think
do. And that's why I wanted to pull
that,
that word into tonight to our
I love
conversation
it.
because I'm like magic and storytelling and story. Like, okay, look at me getting
But
all
it
geeky
really, and
again.
it does
Mm-hmm.
like it really goes, it's so deeply connected to my mother as well. It was just growing up
Mm,
thinking that she was magic. How did she do this? Again, coming back
yeah,
to that moment on the
yeah,
stage.
yeah.
What is this witchcraft where she is changing how people feel with her words? Are you
Wow.
kidding me?
Can we see her? Is she, I mean, I know she passed, but like, is she in things that we would know about?
No, she was
No.
only on the stage, and
Okay.
I mean, she, yeah, no,
Mm, okay.
unfortunately.
Okay.
Um, but
Mm,
just this incredibly powerful presence.
yeah.
And uh, that is, yeah, you talk about connection and how that flows and goes. And I'm sure that there's all kinds of connections that we feel to are the ones that we've lost. And
Hmm.
I look at what I do now. And recently, even she died on April 22nd. So as we record this, that was 8 days ago,
Mm.
14 years ago. And this year, I was just reflecting on how much she is showing up in the work that I do now, how much I get to
Mm.
continue. It's very different,
Yeah.
but it's continuing her, whew, her work that was, again, to come to this magic idea. I like that. Like, what is magic? Like, you think magic, you think, yeah, Harry Potter,
Yeah.
wand, change that
Hmm.
mouse
Hmm.
into a roll of toilet paper. It
Hmm.
transformed, it changed. That's magic. And so that's why I really are going to carry that with me so much is what is a story, a transformation story, if not magic?
Mm.
You've changed.
Yeah.
You you were overcome with grief, and now you can smile at the sunset again.
Hmm. Yeah.
What magic? Is it not? Like it's
Yeah. Yeah.
there's this mysterious beauty that is so baked into our existence, and this is me trying to instill that sense of
Yeah.
wonder and joy that did come from my
Mm.
mom into each person to see like that is already
Mm.
there
Yeah. Yeah.
in your story, in your lived experience with a
Yeah.
little magic wand that you carry.
Yeah. I keep it
It's
in my view and I see it every day. So
oh, I love that so much.
thank you. Wow. We resonate with our moms and how special they
Oh
were.
yeah.
Mm. Keeping their,
Yeah.
I say I'm keeping her light alive too by doing this work and like the kind of person
Yeah.
she was and her perspective of just navigating a terminal illness and her outlook on life. Like that shaped me. That shaped me more than I realized, And so
And
like
it's
helping others, yeah, with
not
unique
it's like
perspectives. Mm.
it's not much, but it's
Hmm.
everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like she lives her life and she had friends and her parents had friends that you'll never see or know about and all that. And
Yeah.
then her time is done and you get to carry this forward for your
Mm.
time while you're here with your friends and your connections and
Yeah.
make your impact as you do. And then it
Yeah.
goes on and then somebody else takes over and somebody else like it.
Hmm.
This is what we
Hmm.
get. So I'm I'm grateful that you are someone that is leading the way in this, that is showing up like this, that is saying, "Hey, I've I've got something here. I've lived through something." I like to say, your lived experience will help
Yeah.
someone live through their experience.
Mm.
And you've said, "Yep, uh, I recognize that. I'll take that mantle on, and I will share that to help other
Thank
people do
you.
the same."
Thank you.
So,
And I see the work that you do and you help, I mean, speakers, best-selling authors, leaders around the world, I mean, you're living in your calling and um I'm just so excited. I'd love for you to share, like, if somebody wants to work with you and like
mhm.
crafting their own personal story and shifting from that confusion to more of the clarity. I mean, this is
Yeah,
what you do.
yep, yep, yep. Yeah, that's it. I mean, I've got, the best is to just connect with me on Instagram and
Mm,
see what we're up to and send me a DM. It's always me. There's no robots here. So, connect with me. I'd love to hear if something here is standing out to you or hear your story. But then
mhm.
beyond that, mostly the work that I do is one-on-one coaching. So it is helping individuals to find that, whether it's for a purpose of I'm going to share this on the
Mm,
stage, or it's to turn into some sort of a service or product, or there's a lot of people who are like, no, I'm writing my story
mm.
for a book, or I just need
Yeah.
to do this work for myself. Can you help me uncover that? That's
Yeah.
that's the best work right now. So if that is something that, yeah, you want to do and you're like, geez, I
Yeah.
can't do this on my own. I'd love Alex's help. Then, alexstreet.ca is where all the info is, and
Hmm.
you can find it
No, it's
there.
just so good. I mean, I just think my audience is going to resonate with you. And I get a lot of DMs about people who, you know, want to do something maybe similar to what I'm doing to help others on this path, to use
Yeah.
their story for good. High achieving women that I support, I just think shifting to a place where you have the clarity. Um, if you want to step on stages and speak, I mean, again, I never saw myself doing that, but it's a calling, and
Yeah.
I'm continuing to follow the call. Right? It's like using our stories to amplify, the fertility struggles that are. It's 1 in 6 individuals are going through this. So many. It used to be 1 in 8, 1 in 6, and just the positive changes that we can create from this pain and struggle that we're going through, right? Like,
Yeah.
this is how we change the world.
I, it really is. I don't even hold that back anymore, like saying
Mm-mm.
that or thinking,
No.
it's kind of cheesy. No, no, no. Changing the world really is. I helped someone like find clarity today. They feel a
Mm-hmm.
little bit more confident in who they are. That changed the actual world that I'm a part of and living
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
And using your voice and connecting to someone to give them hope for tomorrow does that,
Yeah.
shifts that. And I mean, if
Yeah.
there's anything else that we're here to do, I'd love to hear it because that just feels like that's the purpose. That's what
Yes.
we're here to do. So,
And you have 3 teenagers, right? 3 kids.
you bet.
What do
Yep.
they think of
Oldest is,
dad? And I mean, I'm sure you hear all the stories, but like, what a legacy that you get to help them,
it's
at a young
good.
age to
I
they're
love it.
setting this.
I'm so like not cool to them. Like it's just it's here. I put my book in their stocking every year, and
Yeah.
so they're like, oh, okay.
Really?
Um,
I
it's
love
just
it.
a hoot, but yeah, it's they're kids, they're teens. They show these incredible signs of confidence, and
Hmm.
then all these doubts and fears, and trying to figure out who they are and where they belong and what they're here to do.
Hmm.
Just like you were when you were a teenager, and
Yeah.
I'm still doing today. It's you just get to see it in who's here. So yeah, it's the greatest
Yes, I forgot to mention your book is called The Story Arc, or Story Arc, not the,
story
right?
arc. Yep.
Story Arc.
Yep. Yep.
And can we find that on
Yeah, that's on Amazon.
Amazon? Yeah. Oh
That's
my
there.
gosh, Alex, you're such a joy. I can't thank you enough for this conversation.
It's been amazing. I really thank you for how you guided this, and
Hmm.
we both came in kind of going like, I don't know, we'll see where this goes.
Yeah.
And think, I hope that there's something really helpful and
Yeah.
powerful here. So
Well, I
thank you
felt the
for bringing
magic.
it
I hope
on.
my listeners do too.
Yeah, I assume
Thank
they
you,
will. That's
Alex.
good. My pleasure. Thank you.